All right, then let's go to the AFC, where there are no fewer than now 6 4-2 teams: the Steelers, Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars, Broncos. Let's do the same thing. You can only put your marker on one of those teams. The Steelers, Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars, Broncos. Which one
Yeah.
would it be out of the AFC to make the
Well,
Super Bowl?
I think the first thing that I'm probably not supposed to do, because I don't know what the line of questioning is going to be. Can I add the Kansas City Chiefs into that so I can make this answer?
They're 3-3. Sure, but go for it. Sure. You
So
want
I
to
can
do
make
that?
this answer
Go
really
ahead.
easy. I think
Yeah,
that's the
sure.
team to beat. I think that's the team to beat again,
Look at
Rich. And
that.
I know that feels like an easy out, but I was saying this after their 0-2 start without Xavier Worthy. I'd never seen Patrick Mahomes play with so much passion, with so much intention. You can tell that he's set to prove something, and he understands how well he needs to play. Also thought Steve Spagnuolo on the back end, without Justin Reed, who is now in New Orleans, was just trying to figure some things out with a rookie corner that's played a ton of time. Jaden Hicks, a second-year player at the safety position, just figuring out things from a chemistry standpoint, communication, and I believe that they're doing that. Add to that, in this week, you are adding Rashee Rice, who was one of the best receivers going into last season before the ACL. We saw him ascend as they went to win a Super Bowl in his rookie year. I think this offense is going to be extremely explosive, especially with the quarterback under center, run game getting going. That would be the team I'd pick. But if you give me a 4-2 team, I still think it's the Buffalo Bills. 8 people injured against the Atlanta Falcons, one of the best players in the world in Josh Allen, and in my opinion, a stellar head coach. I think they right the ship and figure some things out.
Well, and again, you know how it works in our business. If you're on a bye week, it's as if you don't exist, and there's no reason to have a conversation about them. But let's do it here since I have you. The 1-5 Ravens. Are you off them completely? Are they fork stuck? What do you think?
You know,
Ryan?
like that's the difficult thing is, right? Lamar Jackson can come back and this team can go on a run, win 8 of their last few games, or 9, and find a way to get into the playoffs. I just don't believe the way this roster is constructed, the way that they're executing, that they can win big playoff games. I do believe that at the end of the season, we're going to be looking at them and saying to ourselves, okay, where do they fit into this picture? What sort of wild card team could they be? Or with the Pittsburgh Steelers losing this week, how do they have the ability to close that gap? Because they do have 2 games in week 14 and week 18 to play down the stretch. So I believe that the Baltimore Ravens do factor in. I just don't believe they're as big of a threat to win the Super Bowl as we expected them to be coming into this season. I think Lamar Jackson has to take too much on his shoulders. And now with him being injured, Zach Orr's defense not playing at a high level, I just can't see them beating the best of the best in playoffs.
I kind of think that they're going to be that team, Ryan, that we're going to be on our collective shows, our respective shows in December saying, don't let them in the tournament. Do not let them in. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be on the cusp. They'll be right there in the mix for the 7 seed maybe. Or, they do have both games with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh still remaining. And their one win is in division. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not ready to bury them yet. I'm just not ready to bury the Ravens yet.
I think it's about perspective too, Rich. You've been doing this for so long, and you understand it. I'm not looking at them from the perspective of like how do they get back in the fight. I'm looking at them from a perspective of where I thought they'd be in the fight at this point. Right. I believe that we were talking about the best roster in football at the beginning of the season. I don't believe that personally anymore, but you are absolutely correct. I think then history will come into play, Rich, and I'll ask you this question. Even if the Baltimore Ravens are hot headed into the end of the season, how will you look at past and previous playoff failures as to how dangerous you believe they could be if they do, or if and when they do get into the dance?
Certainly if they got to go to Arrowhead, as you point out. I mean, the 3-3 Chiefs do not look like a 500 team. And then, of course, you mentioned the Lions. The Bucs are playing them on Monday Night Football. A massive game that you're going to be all over in a couple of days. A massive game. I look forward to that one. Big time.
Yeah, I think that's huge, Rich, because Baker Mayfield playing like an MVP. I think Todd Bowles should be getting Coach of the Year sort of conversations, not necessarily recognition right now because it's early. Just the way that they execute in the stretch, the way they execute in 2-minute drills, all sorts of critical football moments. I think that is extremely important, and it tells a ton about the way that they prepare each and every week. I'm excited to see this game on the road against a very good Detroit team that will be coming off of a loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. So they'll be, locked in and ready to try to win this football game. I think this is going to be big because it has playoff implications into where a playoff game could be played if these two teams see one another again.
1,000,000%. Man, you never know what's going to happen. And I'm the perfect example of that. Never thought I'd be name-checked on the pivot for playing Cupid for Joe and Michelle Buck, as I was this past week. Never thought that'd be. I've known Michelle Beisner forever and a day and Joe forever and a day. Had no idea I'd be name-checked on your top-notch podcast like I was. Ryan.
Hey, it was definitely fun. Obviously, when you study it and you realize that you had that connection, my job, as you know, because you host this show, is to not say the obvious thing that you want them to say, which that you were part of the love connection. So I thought that was cool. And before I go, I do want to say this. Yes. I was incredibly moved by your return to SportsCenter. Stuart Scott was a huge inspiration to me. He made me feel like I could do this job in my way. I think you're a legend as well in this. I think you're so gracious in the way that you treat new people in the game, whether they have accomplished anything or nothing, the way that you receive us all. And for you to show that emotion, that vulnerability, that openness, and also just give the immense credit that Stuart Scott deserves for what he meant to this business and all the lives that he's touched, and obviously touching your life. I just want to say thank you for allowing people who may have never seen Stuart Scott live to feel a little bit of how he affected us all. And, I didn't get a chance to say that to you. And since I had an opportunity right now, I wanted to take it.
I appreciate that. Did you ever, how often did you cross paths with Stuart? How often did you do that?
Not very often. Not very often. I did get an opportunity to meet him. I never really got an opportunity, to say that. But he is much like how I feel about the people I idolized growing up watching sports. In this business, I felt like there was no better person to do his job, but also nobody that showed someone like me that it was okay to be yourself as long as you put the work in, you prepared, and you respected the occupation in the way you were supposed to.
Heck yeah, he would love watching you, Ryan. He really would.
Yeah, so
he would love working with you. Just ask, SVP. He'll tell you the same thing. I know you're sitting on the set with him quite a bit. He'd tell you the same stories I would too. And
talks about him often.
Because as well we should. He's been gone over 10 years now. It's unbelievable. So the fact that I get
Listen up, Chiefs Kingdom. Buckle in. Because what we're potentially witnessing here isn't just another move. It could be the move that finally pushes this team from contender to true title threat. A few weeks ago, the offense looked stuck. Big names like Rashee Rice coming back, Xavier Worthy healthy again, and still the one glaring question kept haunting us: the running game. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is built to make magic happen with his arm. Yes, the passing attack is explosive. Yes, the Chiefs have deep talent at receiver and tight end. But the Chiefs haven't been built for sustained dominance when you can't rely on your ground game to relieve pressure, chew clock, keep the defense honest. That's where the rumor machine lights up. And it lights up big when the name Breece Hall enters the conversation. According to credible reports, Hall is very much a trade candidate as we approach the NFL trade deadline, and the Kansas City Chiefs are being listed among the most realistic landing spots. Now hear this, Hall is just 24 years old, in the final year of his rookie deal, and his usage trend shows he's got explosive ability, both on the ground and through the air. Numbers don't lie. High yards after contact, strong receiving grade, big playability. The Jets, meanwhile, are in full rebuild mode, off to a rough start, and Hall's value for them right now is rising. They want to trade while please take me is high. Now let's talk fit for the Chiefs. Picture this, you plug Hall into the Chiefs' backfield. Suddenly, you're not just throwing heavy formations to open things up and relying on Mahomes to escape pressure. You're giving defenses a legitimate reason to stack the box, commit to the run, and then you blow past them with play action, screen passes, quick outs, whatever you want. The whole offense becomes messier for defenses to prepare for. Right now, the Chiefs' backfield, namely Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, have split carries, have shown flashes, but their combined performance hasn't shifted the needle to elite. In fact, many analysts point out the lack of a true game-breaking back has held the team back. Hall gives them that. Okay, so we're pumped, but there are checks to write. First, cost. Hall is in the final year of his deal. His value is high. The Jets know it. To land him, the Chiefs may need to give up draft capital, second-round pick perhaps, maybe conditional selections. Some have speculated a perfect trade package for Kansas City is a 2026 second-round pick plus conditional selections. Then there's risk. Hall has injury history. The Jets' running game has underperformed. The question remains, will he fit seamlessly into Andy Reid's scheme and the Chiefs' style of play? But let's be clear, every trade has risk, every big move has cost, and this one could flip the script if the Chiefs act now. Let's also talk timing. The Chiefs are 3-3. They've shown bursts of brilliance, but they've also shown inconsistency. With the trade deadline looming, November 4th, this is not a this offseason move. This is a right now move. Kansas City wants to win now. The window is open. Rice is back. Worthy is back. They need balance. They need to reinforce. Hall is an opportunity. The message becomes, we're not just trying to get back to the big game. We're building to dominate it. And let's not forget the fan angle. Chiefs Kingdom wants bold. We want to see signs that the front office is all in. A trade of this magnitude says, we believe in Mahomes. We believe in this culture. We believe in winning championships. It galvanizes the locker room. It re-energizes the fan base. And it signals to every other team in the AFC, Kansas City is coming for you. Now, yes, you'll hear objections. You'll hear, what if Hall doesn't stay after 2025? What if it hurts future cap flexibility? What if the pick we give up turns into a star? Fair concerns. But sometimes you don't just want to stay in the mix, you want to seize it. The Chiefs have the skills, the coach, the quarterback, the culture. The missing piece may just be a dominant back, and Hall could be that piece. So here's where we stand. I believe the Chiefs should absolutely be in the mix to acquire Breece Hall. I believe this move, if executed properly, could be what separates Kansas City from good to legendary. I believe the Chiefs Kingdom deserves a team that doesn't just make noise, makes history. And this trade could be the spark. All right, Kingdom, it's time for your voice. What do you think? Should Kansas City pull the trigger on Breece Hall? What would you give up? How do you feel the backfield would change with Hall in black and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're fired up about this possibility, smash that like button. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe to Chiefs Kingdom Report so you don't miss any updates, rumors, trade deadline coverage, and breakdowns as we roll into the second half of the season. This ride isn't ending, it's just beginning. Let's go, Kingdom!